Hey everyone and welcome to another Let's Max Warframe, where today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new dual swords, the twin version of another weapon, and that is the Twin Krohkur. Now, I checked out the Krohkur the other day and talked about it being one of the top single swords in the game. So how does the twin version stack up next to that rather glowing review? Well, unlike the single sword, which is a market weapon, the Twin Krohkur can be found in the Grineer lab in the dojo and take 2 of the single weapons, 5 detonite and a former 2 build. Thankfully, the single weapon isn't that expensive, so their costs honestly aren't too terrible. You will need to be Mastery 6 to build the twin weapons though, so that's something to bear in mind when you're building them. Stats wise, it's not that different to the single weapon really, same 70 base damage, most of that's in slash, bit of puncture and a dash of impact. Meaning this is going to throw up those slash procs pretty regularly, especially when you look at that huge 33% status chance, which is super nice, and is going to make condition overload work. That's going to make that work like a dream. The critical chance at just 19% is quite a bit lower than the single version, although the 170% critical damage multiplier is the same. Although it is high enough to get a crit build to work really well, so not only will you have condition overload that's going to work well on here, it can be a crit and condition overload build, the strongest build currently available in game. It's only got a couple of other differences to the single weapon. Slightly faster at 0.917. Other than that, nothing much really changes here at all. It doesn't have the same weird feeling range to it as the single version though, which is definitely nice. I don't know what it is about that single one, it just feels very weird with its range. The dual version just doesn't have that at all. In terms of stances though, you know me, I have been very vocal about how much I hate the dual sword stances, and that I've been waiting for a new one to come out. Well, it finally has. Carving Mantis is here. Picked up by either the bounty missions as a reward for completing the hardest one, or as an incredibly rare drop from the Plains Commander. Carving Mantis for me is by far the best of the 3 stances. While information on the exact damage multipliers and guaranteed procs is still very sketchy, I can comment on how the stance feels, which is that it doesn't feel weird and clunky. It's got some really nice forward momentum. Both the spam E combo of Ambush Predator and the right click hold of Biting Mandibles are super fun to use. And I've actually got to the stage of liking dual sword weapons again since this stance came out. It's what I would absolutely recommend using if you can get your hands on it. It just shows what a good stance can do to a class of weapons. Let's hope that the dual daggers are about to get this kind of treatment, eh? So moving on to the build, it's a very standard crit status hybrid build with condition overload. 2 former on here because it doesn't come with any at all. We have 2 Vs on here in total. In those we have Prime Pressure Point, Blood Rush and Drifting Contact for crit chance as our combo counter goes up. Drifting Contact's going to keep that combo counter up longer as well as give us more status chance. Organ Shatter for crit damage, Berserker for attack speed when we crit. Condition Overload's going to give us more damage when we proc status effects. And then 2 dual stat elemental and status mods of your choice, giving whatever elemental combo you want to be doing to the enemy. Be that corrosive or viral or whatever really. That's going to increase your damage as well as giving more chance for procs, further increasing the damage from condition overload. It's a very, very standard build at this point, but it makes it no less amazing. It's super effective, and while 19% crit might not look enough for a crit build, you are going to be critting regularly as soon as you start getting your combo counter that little bit higher. So after all of that, what do I think of the Twin Krohkur? Do I think they're worth building? And you know what, I think they are. I'm seeing a lot of comparisons between these and the single weapons, and I've done it myself earlier in the video. However, I think it's a little bit unfair to be comparing the two. Although I know one is a twin version of the other. True, the crit chance on the twin is way lower, but it makes up for it with higher attack speed and higher status. The difference ends up being the stances. Because of the faster attack speed, you don't notice that lower crit, because when you start combining the speed, the higher speed with more speed mods and a fast stance, you don't really feel that low crit at all because you're hitting that much faster. They really are 2 separate weapons. The single hits a bit slower but a little bit harder in one swing. The twin's going to hit faster and procs more, which is going to build the combo counter quicker. So ignoring the comparisons between that and the single weapon, the twin really is worth building. I really enjoyed using it. It really deals with enemies very, very quickly. You can see it now absolutely shredding level 120 Eximus in no time at all. They really do hit extremely hard and are so effective it's unreal. They're one of the stronger dual swords for sure, and now we have an incredible stance to go with them, they're even better. I'm actually looking forward to going back and checking out the other dual swords now and seeing how they perform with this new stance. So they might be different stats wise to the single sword, but that's a good thing because they feel different too, despite having the same build. The Twin Krohkur are incredibly effective, they look amazing and are pretty fun to use. I'll be using them a fair bit probably, especially now they have a stance that I don't hate with a passion. They're definitely worth building and forming up, especially if you like your dual swords. So I hope you enjoyed my look at the Twin Krohkur. Have more weapon builds and guides coming in the next few days, but for now, many thanks for watching and I shall see you in the next video.